Hello, my name is Justin Shorty. I am a health educator with the Navajo Special Diabetes Program. Today, I am making a turkey veggie stew. Okay, so when we are starting our recipe, we're going to be using some canola oil cooking spray. You can either use the liquid or the spray form. And we're going to be starting off with some minced garlic and some diced onions. And for garlic, if you're afraid of mincing up the garlic cloves, you can buy the pre-minced packages. They're available at grocery stores. And for today, we're using half of a yellow onion. So when you begin, you're going to get your pan nice and warm, and then you're going to evenly coat the pan with your cooking spray. And then you're going to pour in your onions. Give it a little stir so it's evenly distributed in the pan. And then we're going to add in our garlic. We're going to let this cook for about 8 minutes or until the onions become translucent or soft and tender. As we wait for this to cook, we're going to be measuring out our other ingredients. So instead of using water, you can use water, or you can get a low sodium broth, a chicken broth, and you're going to be using about 5 cups. So within this container there are 4 cups, and we're going to pour in an extra cup to make 5 cups. And then we're going to add in our celery and our dried seasonings. We're going to be using 1 teaspoon of parsley flakes, 1 teaspoon of basil leaves, dried basil leaves, and 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. Now we just have to wait for it to cook. So now, while we wait for this to cook, you can give your onions and garlic a little stir just to avoid it from burning or sticking to the pan too much. And then when it's nice and translucent, we can add in 5 cups of low sodium chicken broth. And this will give it enough flavor. You can also use plain water if you want to reduce your sodium intake. And for us, we like to add a lot of flavor to our stews. And so right there is about 4 cups of chicken broth. And I'm going to add 1 more cup so that it gives it time to cook without overcooking or reducing. And now when you go back to your heat, you're going to turn up your heat to medium-high. And bring that to a boil. And we're going to add in our teaspoon of parsley, our basil, and our black pepper. Give that a good stir so that the seasonings are mixed evenly into the broth. And now we're gonna let that cook, and we're gonna add in our celery. So for this recipe, I used about 5 stalks of celery, evenly cut, so that it allows for even cooking. And we're just gonna let it sit and boil. So now, while we wait for this to come to a boil, we're gonna go to our other veggies. In the meantime, you can prep at least 2 carrots or 2 cups of carrots, thinly slice them for even cooking. And then you're gonna get a medium green zucchini, and you're gonna cube it into less than 1-inch bite pieces so that it cooks evenly. And then with your leftover turkey, you're going to cut it up into cubes rather than shred it, because you still want something with a bit of chunkiness to it. With all of our ingredients prepped, we're going to add it into our broth. And we're going to let this boil. And you don't want to boil too long because you don't want the zucchini to become mushy. You want it to be tender. And then while you mix it in, just give it 1 quick turnaround until everything's evenly coated with the broth. And now that everything's into our pot, we're just going to cover and we're going to bring it to a medium-high heat and allow it to boil for about 30 minutes until all of the vegetables are nice and soft. And now that the stew has boiled for at least 30 minutes, give it one final stir. And you can turn the heat down and cook it longer if you want softer vegetables. But if you're ready to eat, you're gonna get And so there you go, we have one serving of the vegetable stew. We have our turkey veggie stew. It's a great way to use up all of the turkey that you have left over and add as much vegetables as you want. You can always mix and match different vegetables based on your preference. And this type of stew is perfect for any days that you're feeling under the weather or working outside for long periods of time, as the sodium will help to rehydrate the body and provide a perfectly balanced meal that won't raise your blood sugar too high.